Hi, my name's Katrina Klatt. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Elevated Honey Co. We are improving livelihoods in mountain communities in southwest China through beekeeping. We want to grow rural livelihoods through beekeeping, and we're going to do that by connecting beekeepers to a stable market. We work in some of the most incredible, remote, biodiverse, and amazing mountain communities in Asia. Now, beekeeping is an incredibly powerful way to transform rural livelihoods. And this is because beekeeping can increase crop yield without the need to till more land through pollination services. Beekeeping produces honey, which is an incredibly lucrative product when produced from Asian honeybees. It's actually valued at 7 to 8 times the price of honey sold in the United States. And I think one of the most powerful things about turning farmers in mountain communities into beekeepers is that when farmers start to earn a lucrative living from a forest that is healthy and intact, farmers become environmental stewards. And you actually place an economic incentive on protecting the forest and protecting trees, because the trees are more valuable as nectar producers than they are as logs cut and sold in the market. And this is incredibly important in Western China in particular, because the forests of Western China regulate the Asian monsoon season. And this monsoon system is responsible for the agricultural productivity of 3 billion people. So when I say that we are trying to place an economic incentive on the trees, on protecting the trees in Southwest China, this, I believe, is one of the most positive outcomes of the work that we're doing. So what's the problem? The problem is that no matter how well you train farmers in these remote mountain places to raise honeybees, they are more or less cut off from the market by middle buyers who taint the honey and keep the profits themselves. And so when farmers cannot access a stable and fair market from their homes, the adults have no choice but to go to cities and work as migrant laborers. And that leaves just elderly people and young children in villages, which more or less deteriorates the quality of life in this rural community. So we've got a solution to this. We have a bit of a circular solution to this problem. We focus heavily on the supply chain. But what we do first is we identify the communities where beekeeping is going to be suitable. And this tends to be places where there are already wild bees living in the forests. And fortunately for us, that includes nearly every mountain community in China, Southeast Asia, and other places going further into Central Asia. We've been focusing on China so far, but we are moving into Thailand in the near future. So we find these mountain communities and we increase their production by long-term and intensive training. And in that process, we find some people that are pretty incredible beekeepers, and we turn them into field officers that work for our company and help us to continue growing that way. We have what I like to call a franchise model, although it's not a franchise model in the true sense of the word. But what I mean is that we have a central location where we have our office and our brand. And then we've got these remote spread out communities that are operating each with a slightly unique model, because each place, based on environmental realities, has their own needs. Now, these communities are connected back to Elevated Honey Co. brand through online support systems and through an online platform that we're in the process of building. So beekeepers have to meet our standards. We have the strictest production quality standards in the industry. They have to agree to have all of their honey tested for adulteration, because as many of you probably know, fake honey is an endemic problem throughout China. Now, if beekeepers agree to our standards and our testing, we buy from them at better prices than they'll find anywhere else. We do what we like to think of as profit sharing up front. We automatically buy at above market prices because we believe our wholesalers are our partners, and we want to see them advance as we advance as a company. Now, what we're also doing is working to partner with like-minded industry groups and government, universities, to do plantings, to increase the amount of territory that's suitable for this type of work. Honeybees have habitat requirements, and unfortunately, a lot of habitat has been damaged in the world. So we also are working to do planting projects so that this model will work in more and more places. So some of the impact we've had so far, we've trained 116 farmers, and we're proud to say we've got about a 98% retention rate among people who've become beekeepers. Now, of those beekeepers, we've turned 11 into professional beekeepers. And what that means is that 11 farmers have stopped doing any other farm work, income generating activity, and have become specialists in beekeeping at a large scale. This 11 out of 116, that's pretty well in line with global industry standards. Even in the United States, many farmers are sideliners, and then some beekeepers are real specialists who are doing this at a large scale. We intend to continue to increase that number, but we're pretty proud of these metrics so far. And we've also educated more than 9,000 consumers about beekeeping, what role pollination plays in global food security, etc. And I just wanted to show a little bit of our company timeline to let you know some of the traction that we've already got in the market. Although we're a small company, we purchased our first ton of honey in July of 2015, our second ton of honey in June of 2016. 2017 was a bit of a tough year with rain, so we didn't purchase a full ton that year, although we did sign a new partnership with a brewery and 2 distributors to help us better enter the market. This year we're in line to pull more than a ton of honey, probably pushing up towards 2 tons of honey. And what I want to point out is that we sell out every year. We sell out rather quickly every year. So we're really excited that we've already got this kind of a background. I want to talk a little bit about the market that we're in. We sell to Chinese honey consumers that are currently buying expensive imports. And so because of the fake honey problem in China, consumers are pretty worried about feeding anything to their children that comes from the domestic market. It's about a $93 million market, the number of domestic Chinese honey eaters that buy expensive imports. And so these people are already consuming honey. And in a survey done by McKinsey and Bain about Chinese consumers of imported food products, more than a third of all of those consumers said that they would much rather buy a domestic brand for Chinese people if a safe alternative existed. And we feel that this is really our core market segment. They want a domestic brand. They eat honey daily. They buy expensive imports. They just can't find a safe alternative, and that is exactly what we are. So let's talk a little bit about our competitive advantage. When it comes to transparency in the supply chain and investment in a more technologically savvy supply chain, there is no other company in the industry that could compare with our company. We are placing this front and center as a way to alleviate farmer lack of market access and as a way to elevate consumer safety. We're right in line with our competitors on affordable pricing. We are neither high nor too low. We're quite average in this area. We have a lifetime, between the three of us, we have a lifetime of honey production experience and producer connections. So we're very strong in that area. And our marketing skills, while that was not a skill set of the original founding team, we've brought on a marketing partner that I'm really excited to tell you about coming up in a couple slides here. And so while I would call us average now, we have a plan to move into a very strong category for marketing. So let's first just introduce you to my team. I'm Katrina Klett, the CEO. I work on the fundraising, expansion, and strategy for our company. I've been beekeeping all my life. My mom and dad are migratory beekeepers in the United States, and I've been doing beekeeping for development in different countries around the world for a long time now. Li Qing, our COO, has a formal background in business. She grew up in Inner Mongolia, and she really likes working in operations and logistics. She likes to take the strategies I make and figure out how to make them work on the day-to-day level in China. And then Huguo Qing, who's our CSO, our production manager, he is a local farmer, a local Tibetan farmer in Yunnan, and he speaks 5 out of the 6 minority languages in the regions that we work. He has worked with these different farmers and beekeepers all of his life, and he is really a specialist at taking our company plans and making sure that they're going to work in the local context for the local people. We definitely couldn't do it without him. So now let's get to the marketing partnership that I'm pretty excited about. We brought on a marketing partner who brought a team with her. She has a background in advertising and marketing of Yunnan specialty food products, which is the province we work in, is Yunnan. So she brought with her a team of photographers, videographers, designers. She has factories that she has worked with for many years, and this has really made it easier for us when we need packaging and marketing materials. As you know, factory quality in China varies tremendously, and it's an art form in itself to have these factory relationships. So we're very excited about that. She has created our marketing strategy. We now have 12 live events planned for the year to continue consumer education. And she's already brought a substantial number of new customers with her. And we are now very positive and excited about the direction that our marketing and design is taking this year. It's truly one of the most exciting pieces of our company right now. So what's our value proposition for farmers? Again, as I mentioned earlier, we use the supply chain as a vehicle through which our company can deliver a pipeline to the market to these farmers. Unlike other honey companies, we share profits with farmers up front, and we give them a chance to actually join our company. We'll actually turn them into field officers and give them positions. When we look to hire, we look to farmers and beekeepers. There is no other honey company in our region that sees them as anything other than utilitarian wholesalers, and we're very unique in that sense. Now, our value proposition for consumers, again, using the supply chain, we are one of the only companies, if not the only company, offering a product that's completely traceable back to the honey field that it came out of. And we're the only company that is purchasing in a socially responsible manner. So we allow our consumers through a barcode on the packaging to literally trace their honey back. We test 100% of this honey for adulteration, and then we make those tests available to consumers so they can know exactly what it is they're feeding to their children. So how are we going to reach these consumers? Well, I want to point out that we are an e-commerce company first and foremost. We are in the process of developing an ever-increasing online presence. As I mentioned earlier, we're working on an online platform. We work with distributors to reach more customers, and we're collaborating with other like-minded businesses. I mentioned the brewery that we have a collaboration with. To do promotions for safe products and to advocate for healthy supply chains. We hold live pollinator promotion events in different cities. We're targeting the city of Kunming this summer. We'll be targeting Beijing this fall. And it's literally like a town hall meeting. Like, we're going out to directly talk and reach our consumers so that it's not just sending out virtual videos over the internet. We're planning to attend a food show in Shanghai, and we're looking for more B2B opportunities. We've also just finished creating a documentary video that will be released online about our company. So what's our operations plan for the next 3 to 5 years? We're going to go from 1 region up to 4. We've already located our 2nd region. We're going to go from slightly over a ton up to 5 tons. We're going to increase our field officers, and we're working on currently using a hive leasing scheme to help families really scale their operations more quickly. End-to-end traceability, where we've got a digital service that we're rolling out for farmers through WeChat. We're going to be switching to blockchain over a centrally controlled tracking system for tracing software in our supply chain. That's pretty standard. The food industry is moving in that direction now. And we're increasingly upgrading our tamper-proof packaging. We are following the pharmaceutical industry, and the standard is to sort of use 3 different methods to really prevent counterfeiting. And educating consumers. We want to reach as many consumers as we possibly can, both to really strengthen our market penetration, but also because it's really important that consumers understand where the problems in the supply chain lie and what they need to be demanding when they're purchasing honey. So the total funds for expansion, we're looking for $415,000. And outside of the cost of salaries, that money is going to go to production expansion, expanding our market share, upgrading our supply chain technology, and to finish the customer-facing design work that we've been improving. This expansion will allow us to affect the lives of more than 20,000 people. And that's on the farmer end as well as on the market end. I want to highlight that throughout Western China alone, not even talking about Southeast Asia, there are more than 250,000 farmers that are really in line with what we're looking for to help increase their livelihoods. So I hope that there's a chance for us to collaborate. Please join us. And thank you so much for listening to our presentation.